Welcome to the show, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hey, it's a beautiful day out here. Beautiful day to talk hockey. Welcome to HABSOLUTELY. My name is Paul K. Lemire.
Je suis Jean-Louis Fillion.
Yeah, and we are here live in the studios of 4680Q in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Big Habs fans here talking about the Habs.
Très bien.
And John's back in the studio today.
C'est une bonjour. Mais qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Oh, what this is?
What is the best?
Well,
like, are you doing road work today, or
no?
You got your chopper out. You're riding your Harley, and you don't want to be hit.
No. We're getting back to work. The boys are coming back to Montreal. They're on the ice. They're getting back to work, and I got my vest on because we're going to get back to work every day when we talk about the Montreal Canadiens. They're back. They're all starting to filter in. I can't wait for the season to start. 3 weeks, and we have preseason.
Preseason is coming up, and obviously training camp is coming up, and golf tournament is coming up.
That's exactly right.
It's all going to be great.
Yep, everything's starting to come out. Everything's coming up. Hockey
coming up.
What was that song? Everything's coming up. Roses, but we're saying everything's coming up. Hockey.
Yeah, it looks like training camp is being held between the 18th and the 4th of October.
Well, okay, yeah. The preseason goes from the 22nd, and I've got the schedule here. We can talk about that later.
Right. Preseason.
We'll talk about what's going on.
Yeah, games go.
So, yeah,
it's such a short kind of training camp because I think teams now are so in shape when they actually come.
Yeah, well, I think Bettman wants to get rid of preseason altogether, and just start the season. I think that's what the owners are pushing for, because what good is preseason? These guys play our guys have been playing all summer.
Exactly. I mean, look, Lane Hudson was on the ice in Broussard on Labor Day. He was the first guy on the ice. He made his girlfriend sit in the stands watching him. I thought of you. I thought of you when we used to play pickup hockey.
Yeah.
And you'd bring your girlfriend and you'd make her sit in the stands to watch you play.
Yeah, exactly.
Say, like
I wonder if she was impressed.
60 years, things just don't change, right?
I wonder if she was impressed, because I never could play that great. So, I mean, if I was Patrick Laine, I think she'd be impressed, especially with the $8.5 million a year. But me,
absolutely, you were a roller. Come on,
not so much. We're going to get into viewers' comments. We had a lot of comments. We're getting a lot more comments here we have to talk about, and you're going to get into some of this too. Great. Last week's question, just to refresh everybody's mind, we always do a trivia question, was what Hab had a McDonald's sandwich named after him?
Lanny McDonald didn't play for the Montreal Canadiens, did he? I don't think so.
No, he wished he played. He wished he played for the Montreal Canadiens.
That when he played in Calgary, but anyway.
except the year he won the cup.
Except 1 year in Calgary.
Yeah, when he won the cup against Montreal. But yeah, that was the question last week, and the answer was Max Pacioretty, the Max 67 sandwich from McDonald's.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the guy. But we got a couple more comments that are really good about that.
Excellent.
So we had a friend of the show comment, but he commented on my other show. He commented on Your City, Your Voice. So we'll say what the comment was. At Habs for Life 41. Mm-hmm. I don't think Jake Evans should be second line center. His stats took a big hit when moved to line 3. Line 4 is his home. And remember, I was saying that maybe he could be center, and I said, John felt the same way, especially being very effective on the PK.
Exactly.
The added minutes on the second line may not work out well for him. Thanks for the comments, Habs for Life. It took me a while to see it, but you agreed with him, John.
Totally. You got it. You're hitting stride for sure.
Yeah. So there you go. Good comment, great comment, and sorry I missed it for last week's show because I didn't see it on my Your City, Your Voice show, but I did find it, and thank you so much, Habs for Life 41. We appreciate the comment.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. And what else are we getting here? Danny Ouellette. Danny Ouellette, 3143, said, "You are forgetting John Ferguson, the original number 22, the best 22 that the Habs have had." And
that's a big comment.
It is. Well, last week I wore my HABSOLUTELY jersey with the number 22 and explained to everybody why
you were 22.
exactly. So, I read that comment. I'm going, well, you know what? Yeah.
I mean, John Ferguson.
But Steve Shutt wasn't a bad player.
Exactly. I mean, John Ferguson, a very emotional, inspirational,
yes,
leader of the team. He would protect the gate. Fergie had your back no matter what, no matter who you were. Fergie had your back. I mean, there's a ice hockey book that I have, and there's a classic picture on the front cover, and it's a picture of Bobby Hull. You can see Bobby Hull's face, and it's bleeding, like his nose is bleeding, and you can see the back of John Ferguson, and you can see him pulling back his arm as he is just about to land another haymaker on Bobby Hull's nose.
And he's bleeding like crazy. That was classic.
Yeah.
That was a Sports Illustrated moment.
Fergie, tough as nails.
Yeah.
But Steve Shutt put the puck in the net.
Yeah. But not to take anything away from John Ferguson. I mean, I personally loved watching John Ferguson on the ice. He was our guy.
Fergie could contribute. I mean, if there was maybe a counter player on that blue and white team, it would have been Eddie Shack. But Ferguson was a much better player than Shack. I think even cerebral as well as physical and as well as skillful.
Yeah, him and I like a guy named. You remember a guy named Howie Young?
Yes, Howie Young was a checker.
Yeah,
for the Red Wings, and he made Bobby Hull's life, not so happy.
Yeah, he was another tough guy too. And I remember the time he came skating out on the ice with a mohawk. He cut his hair and he had a mohawk. Yeah, he didn't wear helmets in those days.
I think he was trying to get into wrestling.
Yeah.
Little Beaver.
Yeah, Little Beaver. There was a lot of characters in the NHL back then. I mean, these tough guys.
It was a bit of the Wild West at times,
It could be. Yeah, it could be. So Danny Ouellette.
Remember, it was a sport that, and to this day, still allows you to fight and not get kicked right out of the game.
Yeah, and Danny Ouellette, it's arguable whether John Ferguson was ever the best player, number 22 on the Habs, but it isn't arguable that he was probably one of my favorites when I was growing up, without a doubt.
Of all the Montreal Canadiens who wore number 22, he was one of them.
He was one of them. And I don't know, I got to give Coffey a little credit. I mean, he changed from 22, but he not too bad neither.
CC is the best is yet to come.
Yeah, exactly.
As Frank would say.
Yeah, we haven't seen the rest of him, right?
Yeah, that's just started.
Gary Cournoyer. 9031.
Did these guys play for the Habs?
They sound like it. Ouellette, Cournoyer.
Maybe they're on the Laval Rockets. I don't know.
He says, "Good day, fellas. Thanks for the line combos." And last week I gave some line combos that I read online to see what people thought of them. I do not agree with those at all. Well, I didn't really neither. I just thought I'd throw it out there for you, Gary. So let's see what you say. These are my picks. CC Susie Slav. Yes. Line Demidov. Bolduc. Now, last week, Gary said that he thinks that Demidov is going to center that line, and I'm going, wow, that's pretty interesting. But when I looked at Demidov's past, he had played center before hitting the KHL, and they put him on the wing. But he said he would love to be a center on that line and in the NHL. So, I don't know.
I will say
who
this.
knows?
I will say
who
this.
knows?
We need somebody on that line who can take a face-off.
We absolutely do.
I will say that.
We do. So he's going to need a little training, maybe, because he really hasn't played it at the pro level. Okay, his third line, Gally Evans.
You know what? I should preface that. Not take a face-off. They need to win the face-off, okay?
Win a face-off,
They need to win the face-off.
Yeah, we could take a face-off.
Exactly.
We're not going to win a face-off. Gally Evans Anderson.
Love that line.
That's a nice line.
Yep, sounds good.
And Newhook, Veleno, and Doc.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great combination there. I don't know if you ever see it happen in real life, but it looks good on paper. The problem is that I think Montreal is very, very committed to giving Doc that second line center position, improve himself. They've got a lot tied up in him. He's been injured. I think they're going to give him a shot first off.
We're going to know as soon as training camp starts and Doc is on the ice and the minutes he gets scrimmaging, and then we're going to know what Montreal is thinking about Kirby Doc.
And what the status is. They say he's all right. He's going to play. He's on the ice again. He's on the ice skating.
Yeah. But on the ice skating, scrimmaging, we'll see. But I do firmly believe, like you just said, though, the Canadians are committed to giving Doc an opportunity to be the second line center.
I think they have to. That's what it's all about with him. And he's on a short leash. Well, if he doesn't work out this year, he could be hitting the bricks.
Yeah, and it also speaks to team philosophy. That there's a place for you. We want you to be on our team. We're going to try and give you all the tools that we can to make you successful as far as your training goes, your development goes, your recovery goes. We're trying to do all that kind of stuff, but you have to deliver.
You have to deliver. That's about all there is to it, right?
Yeah.
So Blaze is the extra forward, he says. Blaze, remember we picked up Sammy Blaze. If Kapanen can't get a starting role, he needs to be in Laval.
Go Habs, go. And Kapanen, I think, could be on a line.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him later. I got a little bit about him,
I think Kapanen could be on a line. I also think there's another Jack guy who might show.
He's being talked about huge right now.
And I also believe we still have to consider Joshua Waugh and Owen Beck.
There you go.
So it's going to be very interesting training camp.
It's very, very, and A2. We're going to be talking about A2 in about 5 minutes here, so hang around 10 minutes. Don't go away. At Gary Cornway again, 9301. Again, me. Gary's funny.
Say more.
Toronto and Tampa, their windows are closing for the Cup. So their windows are closing up. He doesn't think they're there, and they're not going to be there. Toronto didn't get equal value for Marner, and I see regression on Toronto.
I agree,
Gary.
Totally.
Tampa's still a good team, but like you said, they're long in the tooth, and they might run out of the gas by the end of the season. And I think they're great observations, and I agree with you, Gary. I mean, the Habs are as good as these two teams this year, and I think we're going to prove that.
I think we're moving forward. We're moving definitely in the right direction, and this could easily be a year that we go to another level.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about the teams, I'm looking at the teams that are, what our path is to the playoffs. And when I look at teams like this, I go, these are two teams that we could possibly jump in the standings, because I don't think they're going to be as good as they were even last year. This year, I mean, Toronto, like I said, Toronto's got 102 points to make up. Marner had 27 goals, 75 assists, and that's gone. Not easy to make up.
C'est fini.
Max Pacioretty isn't going to do it, I'll tell you that.
How about Ty Domi's son?
Is he even on the team still? I don't even know.
I hope so.
He probably is, but yeah. At Vince Hudon, nothing much to add this week. Just very excited for the season to start. Camps are around the corner. Go Habs, go. P.S. I predict Demidov and Susie to be our best players this year. They will both come flying out of the gate come October. And, I can't even argue with Vinny on that one. Well, I think they're going to be two of our best.
It's going to be very interesting. I mean, to watch the progress of Demidov.
Yes.
Okay. And I also believe I'm really excited, and I'm really believing that Patrick Laine is going to come out and impress people and turn heads.
I think he is. It's a contract year. That's one of the reasons.
Definitely. But I think he's fine. Like he needed to settle into just playing in the NHL again. And it took him a while to even do that after that injury. So now I think he's got that under his belt. I think he spent the summer basically, after he got, I don't know, did he get married this year or last year? But
this year.
After all the wedding parties, he spent the summer in Montreal.
On the ice.
And he's been hanging with Demidov on the ice.
Yeah, I can't criticize his work effort.
So I mean, it's going to be really interesting.
And the other guy I'm gonna mention is Slav. I think this a lot of people are saying this is going to be his breakout year. This is the year. 4 years in, he's ready to go, and a lot of players of his caliber, it seems like the fourth year is the year they really, really break out and show what they got. And I'm certainly hoping that for Slav this year.
Demidov could have an amazing season for another reason. He doesn't want to leave Montreal or Canada.
No, he loves it here.
Because he doesn't want to go back to Russia.
No.
Because if he does...
He goes back in the Army.
He goes in the Army.
Goes in the Army. We're in the Army now.
So, I mean, that's a bonus for us. Like, that's a great motivator. You know, we always talk about $8 million. We talk about this. We talk about that. Now we can talk about if you get cut and you're out of the NHL, you have to go back to Russia. You're in the Army. Wow, that's a motivator, okay?
That lights a fire under anybody's butt.
Exactly.
Yeah. At Gary Cornway, I got the trivia last week. I also remembered. Now, this is where some more trivia comes in.
Okay.
And this is awesome. Thank you so much, Gary, because I never remembered this. Probably people in Montreal might have. But I also remember Gallagher having a McDonald's burger.
Wow.
So I looked it up. I didn't remember the Gallagher one, but he did. In 2014, it was called the Gallagher Trio, 3 beef patties. And they came back with one in 2016, which featured an Angus burger with cheddar, caramelized onions, and bacon on a brioche bun.
A brioche bun.
Yeah.
What's the calorie count on those? That's what I want to know.
More than anybody should probably have.
You know? Yikes.
That's your only meal of the day. You're probably okay.
Put it this way: if you're playing hockey for the Montreal Canadiens, you can eat one of those.
Yeah, the question is,
because you're burning those calories.
Did the Gallagher ever even have one of these?
You know?
That's the question. But yeah, there's 2 burgers named after Gallagher, the Gallagher Trio and just the Gallagher Angus burger.
I wonder, we should ask people who are watching and listening
to
go to a McDonald's in Quebec and ask for a Gallagher Trio.
Yeah.
And see what they get.
See what they give them. That's a great idea. Yeah. Who's over there in Montreal or in the Quebec?
Yeah. We'd love the feedback that you go in
and ask for it.
And ask for one of these burgers and see what the response is.
I want a Gallagher Trio. How do you say that? Je voudrais. How do you say I want?
Je voudrais.
Un Gallagher Trio.
Oui.
Oh, yeah. If you get a chance, Vinny, you cross over to Hull and see what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vinny's the guy. We're sending Vinny on a mission here. Or maybe Gary. I don't know if he lives
I don't know. Is Vinny going to go to the not the training camp, but the games, the prospect games,
prospect challenge?
Yeah,
prospect games. Maybe he is.
You know, so maybe if our friend Drew Dika is going,
he's going for sure.
He will ask him to go to McDonald's
and
order one of these burgers.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Drew Deeks, are you listening?
Yeah, he can film that.
The Gallagher Trio.
The other day, I was on like in the news or whatever. I was on Twitter. Who knows what it was? I was on my phone and I saw that. I read that Drew Adika was doing a podcast at the Scotiabank Center. So I went there last night, but it was Dua Lipa.
Oh,
I went to see Drew Adika and it was Dua Lipa. I got totally confused.
You were mixed up.
But while I was there, I went into the Scotiabank Center, and I got to tell you, I couldn't believe what I saw. I went to by the sporting goods store. Now, remember back in the day, we used to go to the sporting goods store at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Doug Laurie?
Exactly.
Doug Laurie,
Yeah. Well, this sporting goods store, they're selling game sticks, used sticks.
Oh.
But, I mean, they're selling goalie sticks. I don't even know who the goalie is for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're selling them for like 350 bones.
Stollarts.
It's like, come on.
Yeah,
and then they had a whole wall of like memorabilia, but it's all frame stuff. But I swear, if there's 30 pictures that they have displayed, 15 of them are of Mitch Marner selling for $350 that he's autographed or whatever. I mean, like, Then there's one of Johnny Bauer, and it's like $150.
That's the value right there.
Think about that. Think about that. How many Stanley Cups did Mitch Marner win?
Let me count. I don't think I even have to use my hands for that one.
You can't. You're not allowed to. And you don't need to.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and here, Johnny Bauer, he won what? How many Stanley Cups? 1, 2, 3, at least 3, maybe 4. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, like, these guys are, they're so desperate for a parade.
Well, think about it. Stolart's goalie stick is $350.
Yeah,
and he's barely played for Toronto.
Exactly.
And Johnny Bauer's picture with autograph is $150.
Yeah, it tells you a lot about the perception of this hockey team.
It does, and the fans don't remember their history, if you ask me, because Johnny Bauer was one of. I mean, when we grew up, Johnny Bauer. I know people who told people that was their father.
Johnny Bauer was amazing.
He was unbelievable. At Gary Cornway, 9301, we need to show some love for Matheson. He got criticized from fans, media, podcasters. He was put in all situations because of lack of talent on D. Having Dobson, Hudson, Gooley healthy, Matheson's minutes will be reduced. And that's what he had to say. And
that's true.
I predict Dobson will have the best season ever with the Habs playing style. And, I don't remember us ever giving it to Matheson. I always liked the guy.
Mike Matheson has always demonstrated a great skill level of bringing the puck up the ice. Now, having said that, we had a defenseman last year who had, I think, 6 goals and 60 assists.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, so things changed a little bit last year. But if you go back a couple of years ago, before, we'll call it before LH, Matheson was the D-man. He was the guy who got things going. He was the guy who jumped the puck out of the zone so that the offense could actually have a scoring attempt. And he was never afraid to jump into that play and score that goal.
Yeah, true enough. And
he led that style that was instigated by MSL of like, take the opportunity, keep the pressure on in the ozone. Like, don't give away the puck. If you have a chance to get that puck, control that puck. Go for the puck control.
Yeah, I know Matheson got a little bit of criticism for his defensive liability. At times he had these lapses on defense.
I think we got to remember we were transitioning into a style of play that MSL was trying to encourage, and that was jumping into the play and grabbing the puck. And it took a while for people to learn that. And so because of that, sometimes, your timing was a little off. You weren't successful with it. And that basically became a 2-on-1 situation where many times we would have David Savard lying on the ice.
Yeah, and he was -6 last year. He had 6 goals and 31 assists, -6. But you got to remember, people forget what happened last year. Our first month, our October, was brutal. We got blown out 9-1, 8-2, 7-2. And of course, with Matheson being on the ice, he was on the ice. He had a -6 on a team that was, like you said, finding their way. But by the time we got Line back and Carrier on D, the last half of the season was where everybody made their bones last year. So
absolutely. And now we know we've got Dobson and Hudson. I mean, like, two amazing defensemen. I really consider them to be 2 of the top 10 defensemen in the NHL overall.
And Carrier's there. And we also have Struble, who's got another year under his belt.
You got Carrier, who is totally solid. Struble and I guess Jack-Eye. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And Matheson. So I think Matheson will definitely get less minutes, but I think he'll be a solid. He will solidly contribute.
He'll be effective. And all that reflects back over onto the goaltending. Our goaltenders' numbers should improve this year just because they're not facing the rubber that they faced last year. Our defense is going to be a lot better this year.
If a team throws the puck into our D zone, and a guy like Hudson can grab that puck and control it and move it out, there's no shot on net. And that's the bonus. That's the bonus, is effectively being able to contain the puck in your own zone and move it out swiftly.
Puck possession.
Yes.
Puck possession. And Gary also said, great video, Paul. Go Habs, go. So yeah, thank you for all your comments, everybody. That's fantastic. Some good discussions about it. And I love that the fans out there, these guys who watch the show and comment, they have ideas. They're not just guys watching it. They listen to what we say and they have ideas and let us in on what they're thinking. And that's why we can sit here and discuss them. And why I love to do viewer comments. I mean, we're going to get to the point maybe where there's so many viewer comments, we're going to have to kind of edit them a little bit.
Well,
or
you want
that
help.
kind
You
of thing.
want
But
healthy.
thank you so much.
Yeah, you want healthy conjecture. I mean, great minds think alike, but as well, the more viewpoints, the more opportunities of coming up with maybe an idea that's never been considered.
And also little trivia points like Gallagher's hamburgers that we didn't know about. So we learned too from you guys.
Of course.
We're learning every time we do a show from everybody out there. Now we know.
Yeah.
They're not going to stump me on that trivia about Gallagher.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
Exactly.
Now,
speaking of that,
that's a good segue into
today's Habs trivia.
That's right. So we're going to do Habs trivia right now. So a lot of you know who number 12 was back in the day.
Back in the day. Yes. Back in the day.
One of my favorite players that we called the Roadrunner.
The
Roadrunner, Yvan Cournoyer. Now, Gary, if you missed this, I don't know what to say. Okay, Yvan Cournoyer, what a player. So please tell me, and Gary, you can answer first. How did number 12 get his nickname, the Roadrunner? And I'm going to give you 4 answers, one of them being the correct answer. Number 1, Cournoyer had a ritual he practiced every game. When he would pull up to the forum in his car, he would beep his horn at the parking attendant. And one time, the attendant referred to him as the Roadrunner because he was always going beep beep as he went in to say hi to the guy.
Oh, that's
the name stuck when the other players found out about it. They laughed their heads off. They thought it was hilarious.
I think it's hilarious. That's a great story.
Number 2, he actually got the nickname from his father because he loved the cartoon, The Roadrunner, so much. And when he played hockey, his legs would be moving so fast, the other players couldn't catch him. Like the Coyote couldn't catch the Roadrunner, so his dad said, he's the Roadrunner.
BB.
By the G's.
Okay.
3, a sports writer saw him play in New York against the Rangers. He got 2 goals and was so fast the sports writer said he was as fast as the Roadrunner, and the name stuck.
Okay.
And number 4, speaking of number 22, when John Ferguson, the Habs enforcer, first saw him skate, he exclaimed, "Boy, is that kid fast? He looks like the Roadrunner on TV." And the name stuck. So
well, at least they're all tied into bugs, eh?
There you go.
What's up, Doc?
So I'll go through them again just so everybody else there can get them, okay? So how did Yvan Cournoyer get his nickname, the Roadrunner? Number 1, every time he came to practice, he had to get into the parking, so he beeped the horn at the attendant and waved at him, and the attendant said, "This guy, he's like the Roadrunner, beep, beep," because he was always beeping his horn at him. And one of the players got wind of this, that the attendant called him the Roadrunner, and the name stuck when the other players found out about it. Number 2, he actually got the nickname from his father. He loved the cartoon with the Roadrunner when he was young. And when he started playing hockey, his legs were moving so fast, his dad said, "Look, he looks like the Roadrunner." And the Coyote could never catch the Roadrunner, of course. A sports writer saw him play in New York against the Rangers. He got 2 goals and was so fast, the sports writer said he was as fast as the Roadrunner. And the name stuck. And number 4, when John Ferguson, the Habs enforcer, first saw him skate, he exclaimed, "Boy, is that kid fast? He looks like the Roadrunner on TV going down the ice," and the name stuck. Which one do you think it is?
Well, number one is the funniest story. First of all, we all laughed at that. That was good. Number two, I don't really think your dad's going to call you the Roadrunner. I really don't think he's going to give you a nickname.
Okay.
Number three, I think is really the answer. That a sports writer, because that's what sports writers do. They're always trying to make a moniker. You know, it's like, let's call this line the goal line, or let's call this, player, something or other. You know, they like to come up with names for people.
Monikers.
Yeah, exactly. Howie Meeker might have been given his nickname by a sports writer, that type of thing. So
what was his nickname?
I can't remember. But I definitely think
the
that
punchline.
Yeah, exactly. The same idea. It's like the punchline.
But there was no punchline.
The Kraut line.
The Kraut line.
Okay.
The punchline.
The
Flying Frenchman.
Yeah, exactly. That type of stuff. That's like they're given by Stan Fischler might have done Flying Frenchman actually. So they're given by sports writers. So I'm going to buy into number three. I mean Ferguson. Yeah, you carried him over from the last trivia question. So I'm going to go with number three, although number one is the funniest.
Okay. What do you think on there?
And I don't really know the answer. So, okay. So I'm
taking a shot.
Do my elementary shtick, and I'm going with number three.
Gary Cornwoye, you should know this one. Anyway, the correct answer is number three.
Wowee! Ding, 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 ding.
A sports writer from Sports Illustrated, Mark Mulvoy, said exactly that, and the name the Roadrunner was coined and stuck with Cornwoye for the rest of his career. But some players don't like the nickname. Cornwoye embraced the nickname.
That's like when we went to school, and we used to give people nicknames, and some of them didn't like it, and guess what? Too bad.
That's right.
So sad.
And Cornwoye loved it. He embraced it. He said now he had to live up to that name.
Absolutely.
Right? He had to live up to it.
And he did. And he had that choppy style. He had short legs.
The nickname actually fit him. His remarkable speed and skill on the ice made it the perfect nickname for the Habs legend. He always outran the Predators with a twinkle in his eye and a perpetual smile on his face. And that's what I saw when I saw him play. I love the guy.
I got to say, when I think of Ivan Cornwoye, probably the very first image that will go into my brain is him on the ice with Paul Henderson scoring the winning goal over Vladimir Tetriak on a Friday in September in 1972, much like today, weather-wise.
Summit Series.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was spectacular.
Game, exactly. And I see Cornwoye on the ice in those amazing Team Canada sweaters that you'll never have a better sweater than that.
No, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. They got surprised by the Russians, though. I'll tell you that.
Not only was he one of the best all-time hockey players for the L'équipe Canadienne, but he also was on that Team Canada team that was history-making.
It was, and like I say, they got surprised by the Russians. The Russians came over with all this beat-up old equipment and everything else, and these guys thought, we're going to take care of these clowns, right?
You know what? Everybody thought that.
Yeah.
And the players probably weren't really watching how the Russians played hockey. And scouting reports were done, and the feedback was like, the pros are going to blow these people away. So who knows what kind of shape Team Canada physically were in going into that first week of games.
Well, the one thing we do know is that these guys were in the Red Army because that's what their job was, and they also played hockey. So people thought, well, we got a bunch of amateur Army guys coming over to play hockey. Are you kidding me? Canada's the number one hockey place in the world. We're it.
Well, think about this.
They came over and showed us, gave us a lesson.
Like after the first 4 games in Canada, Team Canada got their shite together. Okay, so they knew they had it
they had a battle on their hands. They had a battle,
exactly. And like you said, the Russian team was comprised of Army individuals. If you're in the Army and you're not successful, you don't want to come back. and see what's going to happen to you. So just like Demidov doesn't want to go back to Russia and be in the army, these guys, they didn't want to go back losing to the Canadians.
No. They played great.
So
Tretiak was outstanding.
They played for their lives. Yeah, Tretiak was amazing.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Some of them ended up coming over to the NHL on that team. They're unbelievable. The coach was great.
And of course, the story goes that in Montreal, somebody traded a bunch of Levi jeans for a bunch of Russian hockey sweaters.
There you go. That wasn't you, was it?
I wish it was.
I wish it was. Okay, past week with the Habs. Once we finish with the Roadrunner.
That's good. That's fine.
So the big story since last week and over the weekend of that has been Carey Price. His contract was paid out. His bonus was paid out September 1st, which was Monday.
Correct.
And so now he's free to be moved around. And I've seen a lot of names floating around, but the three teams seem to be San Jose, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. And everybody's been talking about it. Everybody's waiting for the hammer to drop on this trade. And really, I looked before we got here, and I still hadn't seen anything happening. I think they should have traded him a long time ago, personally, but I digress. But anyway, Chicago looked like they were going to be the big guys. Now San Jose's jumped in, and even Pittsburgh jumped in.
Well, there's a lot of conjecture.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people talking about a lot of different things. I mean, at one point, it was like the three teams who had, like Calgary, who had needed to reach cap. Okay?
Yes.
So they're going to trade him because they need that $2 billion to reach their cap. And they'll acquire another asset for it, being like a draft choice.
Right.
Okay? Then it kind of turned around that, oh no, the Habs are actually going to trade for a player. The talk is that there was a deal pretty well done, except the other team wanted a second-round draft pick, and Kent Hughes refused to give away a second-round draft pick. So that is the talk. I don't know if Kent Hughes has an actual player that he wants to acquire, but he does want to free up the cap room in case the opportunity exists, and most likely in case he does need a second-line center.
Yeah,
if he feels that nobody in camp this year can fulfill that position. So we shall see. I know there was a lot of pressure. There was we got to get this. Has got to be done. This is going to happen by this date. But it's like a pot simmering on a stove now, and it doesn't seem to be. It doesn't have the urgency to be taken care of at the moment.
Yeah, I think, and this is just something that I think is going on, is that Hughes can't make a deal with the actual teams either because they don't have a player Hughes wants right now, or whatever. It doesn't matter.
And that's a very good point. It could be like
a three-way deal.
Exactly.
And I think that's why it's taken so much time, because it's a little bit more complicated than, hey, we'll give you 2 first-round draft picks. You take Price and we'll take this guy. We want this guy. You've got a player that these guys want. You move him to there. He'll come over to you. You come over to us, and we'll give you the price. It could be a three-way deal that.
And I believe that teams are catching on to saying, "Oh, you want to do this? Like, you want to move this guy? Well, we want more than you're willing to give."
That's another possibility.
So the whole scenario of no, it has to be at least a second round. And Hughes going, no, I won't do that.
Yeah, I think there's something complicating
a bit of a roadblock.
Because really, you should just give Price in the first round pick or something. You take the contract, you deal with it. We're out of it. We don't need anything, and that's call it a day. But
the logical thing is Montreal needs to have more cap room. Another team needs to reach cap level. Okay, let's see how we can make this work for each team.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. I think he's going to go, though. I think we're going to see it, before training camp opens for sure. If not, we won't see it at all, and they'll just give him LTIR and call it a day. But I think it's going to happen, and I mean, I think Price isn't upset about it. I mean, his wife said, "Hey, it's hockey. We're not leaving anywhere. We're going to stay here. He's not playing." I mean, somebody was crazy enough to say, "Oh, he's going to get on the ice and play, and Montreal's going to be sorry," but he's not playing.
My understanding is he was at the bank yesterday morning cashing a $4.5 million check.
That's
my understanding.
That was his big move.
He's kind of busy.
Yeah, he's not coming back. Don't worry about him coming back and haunting the Habs. It's not going to happen. He's not playing. But he's going to be moved, and I believe it probably, maybe even by the end of this week. Who knows? But something's going on. There's just way too many rumors that are happening, and where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are really, I mean, we have a huge fan base that are excited. It's like we got Dobson this year. We picked up, who's the other guy you were telling me, or the guy who may be the second line? Balduke. We keep adding players. We drafted, Hage, Demidov, it's going to be his year. Line A, Slavkovsky is going to come to fruit. Like, there's a lot of excitement about the team. And so the team is still looking to, fans for the last 3 or 4 years have been watching this team acquire assets, as we say sometimes, right? They picked up Owen Beck. They picked up this player. They got, they drafted this player. They traded for this player. So it's all been a combination. They signed this free agent. It's been a combination of all these acquisitions as we see the team change from the team that was iced during COVID. And so people are expecting that they enjoy this and they want to see more of it. But at the same point, Kent Hughes is like, I do things my way, and I do things that I feel are right for this team, and I'm not giving away something for nothing.
Yeah, he's got a master plan. He's sticking right to it. He hasn't veered off it.
Believe me.
In Hughes, we trust.
Believe me, if Ken Hughes was the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mitch Marner, the Toronto Maple Leafs would have acquired something for Mitch Marner. End of story.
Yeah, they got nothing.
End of story. They got nothing.
Nothing to speak of.
Nothing.
Yeah, 102 points out the door.
$350 will get you a plaque at Scotiabank Center.
So most players are showing up in Montreal. That's why I've got my "we're getting to work." We're getting to work, and it's a good thing to see, because in 3 weeks, September 22nd to be exact, we face the Penguins in the first preseason game. We play the Pens, Flyers. We play the Loafs back-to-back, 2 games back-to-back, and Sens 2 games back-to-back. Before we open in Toronto on October the 8th against the Leafs. I cannot wait for all this to happen. And John, do you think he's going to be playing Line A in those 2 games against the Loafs?
No. Not for your life.
Yeah, I don't think
That's
so.
the one thing I would never do that.
That's a bad omen if you see him step on the ice.
You're just playing with fire.
Yeah, and I saw a great video of Slav training back in his hometown of Kolis, or whatever that is called, Slovakia. He's been on the ice all summer, which is great news for what a lot of pundits are calling his breakout year. So, we haven't seen him around here, but he's been on the ice. He did a video actually saying about what he's done all summer, and he was out there with all his guys. And so,
I'm totally looking forward. We know that Slav is a very serious trainer. Remember a few years ago we talked about how he was using goggles to improve his game.
Yep.
And I love what he does. So
an interesting quote from our buddy Marty St. Louis. Listen to this.
Okay.
This kind of ties into a lot of what we've been talking about. "I'm not there to play it safe. I'm confident in my defense, and I'll say it out loud. I'll take our 7 defensemen against any team in this league, and I'll put my money where my mouth is. We've got the skill, the grit, and the chemistry to shut down anyone. No team is ready for the wall we are about to build." That's a big, big statement from our little head coach.
Well, I mean, we have some pretty good defensemen.
I think he's on the money.
I think I keep saying I think we have 2 of the top 10 defensemen in the NHL. I don't nobody else has 2 that I know of. So
Yeah.
I think this is great.
And you had Gooley, Matheson,
Carrier,
and Struble, who's got another year.
Yeah,
under his
Gooley we
belt.
missed earlier.
And we haven't even talked about Reinbacher.
You know, good point. Because he's not going to show probably till next year.
Well, he might not,
or later in the year.
He might not be able to make it.
It's going to be or he may make it, and it'll be like maybe we're going to have the top or 3 of the top 10 NHL defensemen.
Well, yeah, because
think about that.
Because I think if Reinbacher would replace anyone, it wouldn't be Dobson, it wouldn't be Hudson, it wouldn't be Gooley.
You're going to have Hudson. You're going to have Dobson and Reinbacher. They're going to be your top 3D. Okay, 2 of them are playing together no matter what at that point. Matheson most likely will just basically leave the team as he ages.
Probably.
Okay,
I can see that. Yeah.
And then Gooley could easily be the 4th D of that, or something else changes. Jack steps up, Struble steps up, whatever. But if I've got those 3 plus Gooley and Matheson as like 5 defensemen, I'm really pleased.
Oh yeah, and for a coach to come out and say that, like even before the season starts, that makes me feel really, really good.
And like I say, it's so important to have a D that can control the puck when it enters the D zone, and then move it out. And that leads to a successful hockey team.
Yep, so I love that statement. Thank you very much, NSL. You made me feel a lot better about my bet on Habs to win the Stanley Cup this year.
Nice.
I already got my money in.
What are the odds?
I think they were like past 20-1. I mean, they're pretty big. Like when I bet right after the Stanley Cup finished.
Yeah, what do you think the odds were like last year or 2 years ago? They were probably like 100.
Oh yeah, we were way up there, 100-1 or something.
So the fact that we're down to 20-1,
like somewhere around there,
says a lot.
So I said we were going to look at teams in our division and what moves they made to improve. This week we're going to talk about the Florida Panthers and the Ottawa Senators. Last week it was Toronto and Tampa. So let's look at the Panthers first. Okay. And they're coming off a Stanley Cup win last year. And yes, you have to respect it was their 2nd Stanley Cup in 2 years. And their 3rd Stanley Cup final appearance in 3 years.
Totally impressive.
Totally impressive. Especially in the new NHL. We don't see that often. And the run isn't quite over for them, I don't think. I know they played a lot of hockey in the last 3 years. That doesn't eliminate them as they acquired Seth Jones, Jeff Petrie, Danil Tarasov, Jack Studnicka, and Mads Kleivo during the summer and managed to sign Marchand to a 6-year contract. They extended Aaron Ekblad and Sam Bennett. That's the same team as last year with a couple more people like Seth Jones and Petrie and them added in. So every one of their big name players, is including Barkov, Tkachuk, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Marchand, Jones, Ekblad, are signed into the next decade till 2030 plus. And Bobrovsky is the only one looking for an extension of his $10 million contract. He'll probably get that this year. With Tarasov being acquired over the summer to back him up. I mean, what can we say about Florida? I mean, seriously, they're going to be they got to be the favorite to win the Stanley Cup at this point.
Yeah.
If not, it would be Edmonton maybe or somebody, but I think Florida's the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, would
guaranteed.
We see another Florida-Edmonton series?
Well, no, because it's going to be Habs Edmonton. Canadian, all Canadian series.
If Florida has a bit of a weakness, it might be in goal.
Bobrovsky?
Might be.
No, he's won 2 Stanley Cups in a row.
Yes, he has, but he's starting to struggle, I think.
Oh, yeah?
He's age. I think he's up there.
A lot of hockey?
Yeah, he might be one of the weakest links for that team.
Okay, well, that's a good point.
Okay.
That's a good point.
And everybody is going to take their shot at this team, right? So, we're having our meeting before we start the game, and it's like, okay, guys, here's your opportunity to show people, like, let it all out, like, go for it, take chances, let's beat the Stanley Cup winners. That's basically, that conversation is going to happen in every dressing room before every game when the opponent plays Florida. Has to happen.
You know what Habs did against Florida? We beat them four times last year. 4 times,
exactly.
So, I got to say, you're going to look at, they're going to probably be the favorite in the East, for sure. I think somebody's going to have to go through them at the end of the day. So, we can't just discount them. And I think if there's a team we're probably not going to have a lot of chance to jump, it may be Florida.
And think about this. That's the team who's going to say, Florida's going to be going, hey, we're playing the Habs tonight. They embarrassed us last year.
Yeah.
They beat us 4 times. All 4 games we played against them, they beat us. Are we going to let that happen again? So that conversation is going to go down.
And I love their coach. Coach is so good, Paul Maurice, right?
Exactly. And he's definitely going to be pushing that button.
Yeah, so I don't think we can just disregard.
No, and that's important Florida. For us, though, too, because that's like an 8-point swing for us in that division.
Yeah.
Okay? So we need to be cautious. We don't want to lose. Like, if it's 2-2 against Florida this year for us, where are we going to pick up those other 4 points?
Yeah, I think last year there was a little bit of the Habs aren't that good. They're not going to make the playoffs. And people go in a little bit confident. Well, guess what? They saw what the Habs did last year. They're going to be a little bit more aware of the Habs and the talent they have this year. So we may see teams play us maybe just a little bit more seriously than they did last year. So
yeah,
we're going to be that much better.
Florida should be making the playoffs. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah. I think so for sure.
Yeah.
Now, the next team is the Ottawa Senators. And they really didn't make a lot of moves that should concern anyone in the East. They made the playoffs last year, but they were a wild card, like the Habs. They signed a few contract extensions with players that are neither here nor there. Nick Cousins, Claude Giroux are staying for the season. Giroux's 40 years old? He's been around a long time. Along with Bon Giovanni and Lars Eller, they picked up. I'm not too hot in either one of those 2 players. Not like they did anything big. Other than that, they really didn't do a heck of a lot. Stutzel, Kachuk, and Cousins are locked up long term, so they'll be back. Their goaltending situation consists of inconsistent Allmark. He plays really good or really bad. He was inconsistent all year. He did have some good games they got there, so we can't take too much away from him, but he's not a deciding factor whether Ottawa wins or loses every game. I really don't see them making much progress this year. They made the playoffs with 97 points. It was a wild card spot. But were knocked out first round by the Loafs. So I think they'll be struggling to make the playoffs this year. And I think that's another team, along with Tampa, that we could jump. We could get ahead of this year and jump into that position. So Ottawa, I don't think is going to be a factor.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything huge.
The one thing about Ottawa is there's a rivalry there.
Yes.
And they generally give us a bit of a hard time.
That's true.
It always seems to be a challenge for the Habs playing Ottawa.
Yeah, and speaking of Ottawa, we played them once in our first 20 games.
Yeah. Overall, Ottawa as a team, I think it's difficult playing in that city. It's difficult to have fan support. The arena is out kind of in the boonies. You have to drive from the city itself. Basically, it's one highway out to that rink, and everybody's on it. It's a traffic jam.
Canada.
It's not fun. So sometimes the level of fan support can be disappointing there. And obviously, the people in Ottawa, no disrespect to them, but I don't believe they're as passionate about their team as the Québécois for l'équipe canadienne.
No, not even
close. Ville de Montréal.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah. So Yeah, I think Ottawa, unless something drastically changes, to me are a bit of a non-entity.
So next week we're going to take a look at the Red Wings, which
right? Who's been trying? They've been trying to do a rebuild.
Yeah, I didn't see them do much. The Sabres,
who have been trying to do a rebuild
for 40 years, and the Bruins, who just are terrible. They picked up nobody. They got nothing.
Who are currently maybe trying to have a New Jersey. Who knows?
Yeah, they're nothing. They're nothing.
I think
this
they
year.
did that last.
So we'll talk about them next week. See what they did. The other thing was a gentleman that people are talking about a lot. We'll finish off the show with this. Is a gentleman named Oliver Kapanen.
Yes.
He went back to Sweden to play last year, had 35 points in 36 games, was a top-tier center. Now, Habs are looking for that second-line center, and I don't know if we can rule Kapanen out. I don't think we can just say no.
No, Kapanen has a lot of opportunity here. And again, training camp will speak, will say everything.
Yeah, the kid has amazing hockey IQ, of course, using those smarts at the NHL level.
He's got a
presents
shot.
A lot of challenges for anybody getting into the NHL. But I think he's one to watch at training camp. You know, I think if Doc doesn't work out, or if we don't pick somebody up in the next week or so, like I think they're going to do, I think when he gets to training camp, he may show a couple people the skill he has. And if Doc's having any trouble on that ice, it could be Kapanen.
It's going to be a very, very interesting training camp.
Oh yeah, it's going to be something else, and it's going to be. I think at this point with Doc coming back after being off for basically 2 years. I mean, really, he hasn't played a lot of games in 2 years, and with some new players that we have like Bolduc and Valeno, I think that Kapanen will be right in that mix for that second line center.
You're getting to the point. You're getting to the point of going to another level. Okay, you're trying to keep reaching the next level. I did go and see Dua Lipa last night, and if I compare her to the Habs in a sense,
isn't that a guy?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
And Dua has upped her game, but one of the ways she did it was, since her last album, previous to Radical Optimism, she's switched management out. She got rid of her management, and she brought in her father to be her manager. So now it's a family culture, and it's the family name is there, and they're looking at everything and they're saying, are we satisfied with this result? Are we satisfied with what we're doing? You know, can we do what we're doing better? How can we improve? How can we go to another level, another step up? And that's what's been going on with the Habs. You know, we have a core of people like Ken Hughes and the MSL and all the people, you know, around surrounding them that are not on the ice, trying to give the people on the ice the tools to achieve that and encourage them and promote them. And so, and then the development of all these people is what's important. And then when they actually play the game, they have to perform. And you know, you can see that in Dua's performance now. She's got a better drummer than she had on the previous tour. She's got some of the same dancers. She's got the same backing vocalists, but she's got other dancers who are better. And so that's where we're at now. We're fine-tuning positions. So we've got Slav, you know, we've got CC, we've got Susie, you know. Is Lane going to move in to being on the next level? You know, we believe Demidov is going to be core, but he is unproven, okay, in the NHL.
Yep.
So we have all these steps to make still. You know, Kirby Dach is a big question mark. So there's a lot of opportunity. And so we build that culture. We have that family, but in the same thing is, you know, at the end of the day, when you come to supper, what do you got to say? You know? So, you know, you got 15, 20 people sitting around the supper table. It can't be the same three just chiming in all the time. You need everybody to contribute. And that's where we're at now, and building that and helping those people, raising them up to that level.
Sounds like us.
Absolutely.
We got all our viewers at the table.
Yes.
They're giving us information. They're feeding us.
Exactly, and trying to improve what we talk about and what we say and what we're thinking.
Yeah, and give their opinions,
and really get into the heads of these players, and actually also encouraging them to do their best.
Yeah,
and that's the key. That's what we don't see 120K away from us.
That's right.
Okay?
See, that's why that statement from Marty is so great, because it's saying, I have confidence in you. I know you're going to do good. Now get out there and prove it wrong, like the Roadrunner. I had to live up to that name.
You got to do it. It's like, I taught you to be the best, defenseman, or, you've had that training, you have that skill. Now you have to support us with doing that every day. That's, and then when you go to Broussard, and the first thing they open the rink, and there's a guy named Layden Hudson on the ice already. It's like he sat there all night waiting until they turned the lights on so he could get up and start skating.
And, there's a lot to be said for all those guys all summer being on the ice with each other.
Absolutely.
That says a ton about what we're looking at for Montreal in another 3 weeks when the exhibition games open and training camp starts and everything else. And the golf tournament.
I mean, this will just pay dividends 3 to 4 years from now.
Oh, yeah.
When we go to the big parade.
No, people are saying we're creating a dynasty. Dynasty.
You go to the big parade.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody from Niagara Falls bring the cup here so we can see it? There's no players from.
Maybe we'll have to snafu it. We'll have to snafu the cup.
Yeah.
With a player and bring it here.
Well, we'll invite somebody here in the studio with the cup.
If you know what? Here's the deal. Here is the deal. If Owen Beck makes the hockey team, okay, and he's with them 4 years from now when they win the cup, we will pick Owen Beck to be our man.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay?
Yes, we have a connection
and
there.
we will go after Owen Beck to bring the cup to Niagara Falls.
Jeez, maybe if
we promise you that.
We're going to call
That's what we will go after. We
Laine,
will definitely make that attempt.
But Laine, if he scores 5-on-5 this year, maybe his wife, who I encourage to talk to him.
I don't know why I knew you were going to say his wife. I don't know why, but I knew that.
Because I got her whispering in his ear, 5-on-5.
You got something whispering.
5-on-5. 5-on-5. Laine, your wife's whispering to you.
You got something whispering, that's for sure.
The wife whisperer.
Anyway,
we're out of here.
That's what we'll do. We promise you that. Salute.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to get out of here.
Have a great day.
Thanks for tuning in. It's been a fun show. Give us your ideas. Comment on the video. Subscribe. We're almost at 170 subscribers. Subscribe. Come on.
Go enjoy the soleil while you can, because pretty soon we're going to be playing hockey games every other day as we go into an Olympic schedule.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Anyway, you guys, take care. Subscribe to the video. Hit the thumbs up, thumbs down. Hit the notification. You'll get a ding when I post it. Be with us. Come on. Join the crowd. Have some fun. We have fun here.
Absolutely. And Drew Adika, he's going to be eating at McDonald's.
Yeah, he's going to be going to get a Gallagher trio.
Yes.
On that note, we're out of here. Take care, everybody. Ciao. Thanks for tuning in. You are listening to HABSOLUTELY on 4680Q Radio. And you can look at YouTube, X, Rumble, Truth Social later on for the actual video of this show. And we thank you for tuning in. Leave your comments. We will see you later. God bless you all. Have a great day. We'll see you next week at noon. Promises made, promises kept on HABSOLUTELY.